no Cupid hoodwinked with a scarf, bearing a Tartar's painted bow of laugh, scaring the ladies like a crow-keeper, nor no without book prologue faintly spoke after the prompter for our entrance. But let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure, and be gone.
Give me a torch. I'm not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance.
Not I, believe me. You have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stakes me to the ground I cannot move.
You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common bound.
I am too sore and pierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers, and so bound I cannot bound a pitch above dull woe. Under love's heavy burden do I sink.
And to sink it in, should you burden love? Too great oppression for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, too boisterous, and it pricks like...
Why does Romeo say he is unable to dance?
Because he's still down about the girl that he likes. Even though she doesn't like him.
Cool.
What was that answer? You too sad?
That's his saying, like when you dance. It's sad.
So what you put? He said.
Yeah.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. Give me a case to put my visage in.
Putting on a mask.
A visored for a visor. What care I what curious eye doth court deformities? Here are the beetle brows shall blush for me.
Come, knock and enter, and no sooner in, but every man betake him to his legs.
A torch from...
How do the Montagues expect to enter the Capulet house without being known?
Mask?
Yeah.
Canada?
Yeah.
Me, let wantons, light of heart, tickle the senseless rushes with their heels, for I am proverbed with a grandsire phrase. I'll be a candle holder and look on. The game was ne'er so fair, and I am done.
Done's the mouse, the constable's own word. If thou art done, we'll draw thee from the mire of this, Sir Reverend, love, wherein thou stickst up to the ears. Come, we burn daylight. How?
Nay, that's not so.
I mean, sir, in delay, waste our lights in vain, like lamps by day. Take our good meaning, for our judgment sits 5 times in that, ere once in our 5 wits.
And we mean well in going to this mask, but 'tis no wit to go.
Why, may one ask?
I dreamt a dream tonight.
And so did I,
Well, what was yours?
that dreamers often lie.
In bed asleep, while they do dream things true.
Oh, then I see Queen Mab hath been with you. She is the fairy's midwife, and she comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an altar, drawn with a team of little atomies athwart men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spinner's legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, the traces of the smallest spider's web, the collars of the moonshine's watery beams, her whip of cricket's bone, the lash of film, her wagoner a small gray-coated net, not half so big as a round little worm pricked from the lazy finger of a maid. Her chariot is an empty hazelnut, made by the joiner squirrel or old grub, time out of mind the fairies' coat names. And in this state she gallops, night by night, through lovers' brains. And then they dream of love, or courtiers' knees that dream on curtsies straight. or lawyers' fingers who straight dream on fees, or ladies' lips who straight on kisses dream, which oft the angry mab with blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweetmeats tainted are. Sometimes she gallops o'er a courtier's nose, and then dreams he of smelling out a suit. And sometimes comes she with a tithe pig's tail, tickling a parson's nose as he lies asleep. Then dreams he of another benefice. Sometime he driveth o'er a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of breaches, ambuscados, Spanish blades, of healths 5 fathom deep. And then, anon, drums in his ear, at which he starts and wakes, and being thus frightened, swears a prayer or two, and sleeps again. This is that very mab that plats the manes of horses in the night, and bakes the elf locks in foul sluttish hairs, which, once untangled, much misfortune bodes. This is the hag, when maids lie on their backs, that dresses them, and learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage. This is she.
Peace, peace, Mercutio, peace. Thou talk'st of nothing.
True, I talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, which is as thin of substance as the air.
So that is long monologue by Tisha talking about dreams. What is his opinion of dreams? What?
They were bad.
What's his opinion
We're
of
doing
dreams?
hard.
He doesn't think they're real.
Doesn't
They were
think they're
bad.
real.
Or like he doesn't believe in them.
Don't believe them. They're lying. What's Romeo's perspective?
That they're true.
Adventure. Exactly. They're children of an idle brain. Nothing to Spain.
So what did we write?
What does Mercutio's speech reveal about his character? Why does Shakespeare give Mercutio that long speech? What does it tell us about who Mercutio is as a character? Possible. He talks, right? It's possible Shakespeare doesn't have that high of opinion of Mercutio. What do we call people who talk to him?
Annoying.
What?
Annoying.
Right? That's how we describe them, but what are they called? What would we call somebody who talks too much?
Talkative.
What?
Talkative.
Talkative, right? A less pleasant name might be long-winded, right? Talkative, long-winded, so on and so forth.
And more inconstant than the wind, who woos even now the frozen bosom of the north, and, being angered, puffs away from thence, turning his face to the dew-dropping south.
This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, and we shall come too late.
I fear too early, for my mind misgives some consequence, yet hanging in the stars shall bitterly begin his fearful date, and this night's revels expire the term of a despised life closed in my breast by some vile forfeit of untimely death. But he that hath the steerage of my course directs my sail. On, lusty gentlemen.
Strike drum!
Exit. Scene 5. A hall in Capulet's house. Musicians waiting. Enter servants.
Where's Podpan? That he helps not to take away. He shift a trencher. He scrape a trencher.
One could manage to lie all in one or two men's hands. And they unwashed too. 'Tis a foul thing.
Away with the joined stools. Remove the court cupboard. Look to the plate. Good thou, save me a piece of marchpane, And as thou loves me, let the porter let in Susan Grindstone and Nell. Antony and Podpan,
Aye, boy, ready.
you are looked